Leanne, I am so thrilled to have you on the show today. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, you angel.
This is going to be so fun. So we have never met before, but we have so much in common. I lived in East Tennessee my whole life until about a year and a half ago. And we've been on the phone for 15 minutes and I'm already talking more like I talk when I've been around my family for too long. And so I appreciate that. And I'm just so excited to chat with you because, and I told you this, but man, 2020 has been so weird. The world is upside down and it's New Year's Eve. When people listen to this, it's going to be New Year's Eve, which is so fun. So I hope people are on the way to a really safe, socially distanced party and going to enjoy their people. But I wanted to have you to just talk about, I don't even know, like all the craziness. So this is going to be so fun.
Well, I'm tickled too, my darling. I'm a talker and I like to talk about what's happening. And I can tell that you and I would be best friends, even though you're a lot younger than me. You're a baby, aren't you? Could I have birthed you? I think I could.
I don't think so. I think
I think so, Rebecca.
Well, maybe. Okay. But we can still be friends. Okay, so this is not on the list, but because I have a headache from it, I feel like this is a good place to start. Okay. So you talk a lot about your experience getting off white flour and sugar. Okay.
Yeah. Are you doing that right now?
Okay. So here's the thing. I'm going home to visit my family in a couple weeks, and I know like I'm going to eat everything that's not nailed down, right? And I'm going to enjoy my time with my people. But, well, here's really the thing. I just got a Peloton. One of the like bike things. And so it's like you spend this amount of money on a piece of workout equipment. Like I also should probably get my eating habits in gear. And I've just got all this motivation, you know, and I know that dairy and gluten and all the things just, they don't make my body feel great. And I've done it before. I've cut it all before, but let me be the first to say I've not in 2020. And so for the last like week and a half, I've cut it. And the first
but Rebecca, and I'm so proud of you, my darling. But if you do this now and you're in yeast die-off, right? I mean, that's what my nurse practitioner calls it when you feel like you got the flu. Okay. And then you go back to Knoxville and you eat, say, some flour and sugar. Then you're going to have to go through it again. If you're going to do it now, if you're going to do it now, I'd march through Christmas like a soldier, and I wouldn't go through this twice. Those withdrawals are so bad and make you feel so bad. If I were you, I'd either say, all right, I'll just go easy into it, and then after Christmas go hard, or I would just say, now I'm going to make a change in my health, and I'm going to do this and that, and I can't eat those rolls, cookies and all that, and it'll probably make your mama mad, but I don't know. Because going through that to me is like getting off of dope, and I've never been hooked on dope. I mean, I hate to even, because I know that's a terrible, horrible thing for somebody to get off. But I've quit smoking when I was younger. That almost killed me. I've gotten off of white flour and sugar a few times. I'm on it bad right now. I'm on a terrible tear. And I have inflammation, and my back hurts, and my thumbs hurt, and I don't feel good, and I don't sleep well. And I know it's that white flour and sugar. I know it is. And I told Rebecca earlier, I've got a lot of people here. I had to finally take up some filthy, nasty carpet that beagles had done God knows what in, and urinated. They think this house is one big toilet. Anyway, after 15 years, my husband finally said, we can take up that flooring. So these little precious men all came 2 weeks before Christmas, which, everything's got a reason. Anyway, one of them is vegan, and because his child has been sick with a heart thing, and that little thing has to be vegan the rest of her life for her heart, and he told me she's got a metabolic genetic thing, and so they live as vegan most of the time for that child. And I thought, well, they'll live to be 100. I'm in LA, and I'm around all these people that are vegan, and they don't age and they don't get sick. But they eat a little grain. They have to eat grains. But anyway, this isn't a health podcast. No,
I know. But okay, on that note, before we move on, so everybody will think this is funny. So last week when I was real gung-ho, I had tried the whole Thrive Market thing where you order all the dairy-free, gluten-free stuff. It rocks.
Yes.
And I had gotten this quinoa lentil pasta. Who knew? And I tried to make baked spaghetti, and I got my first little round of dairy-free cheese.
Okay.
And on the package, it promised that it melts like a dream. And so I brought it home and I like a baked spaghetti, like I did the pasta and the sauce. And then I put the cheese on top, and bless my husband. He's going along with all this, and we're both really trying, but like it was my idea, you know what I mean? Like he didn't sign up for dairy-free cheese, but man, yeah, I just don't. Cheese
was it not good? Was it not good?
It just wasn't. Like you put
what kind of cheese was it? What brand?
I think it was supposed to be modeled after kind of a mozzarella, but I don't know the name brand. I'd have to go look. But yeah, it was like, I think I could do it again, but I just don't think my husband can do it again. So
was it made out of almonds? Was it like almond?
It was made out of tapioca starch.
Tapioca starch. That sounds fabulous.
Yeah, it was.
Now, my 22-year-old, well, every once in a while I'll get on a wild hair and go vegan, and she makes a cashew sauce that would be like cheese to go in lasagna to replicate ricotta. And I'm telling you, it'll make you smack somebody. It's that good.
Really?
Yes, you got to make your own cashew, and that it's not hard. Like you soak cashews for 30 minutes, and then she puts basil, kind of makes a pesto kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it hits it where you don't miss the cheese. I'll have to get you, she makes a veggie lasagna with zucchini noodles, and she puts this cashew sauce in between it. And I'm telling you, it is wonderful.
That's awesome. I need to check that out. Okay. That was all unplanned. That was not on our list at all. So, but I love it. So tell me about your year. Like, how was your 2020?
Oh my gosh. I'm okay. I mean, when I think about, all the suffering people have been through, I'm really okay. We have not had any. Praise God. We have not had any deaths from COVID. I do have elderly parents, and my husband's little mama, Gail, is 81. She has comorbidities that would be dangerous, and she stays shut in the house. My little mama stays shut in, and mom and daddy stay in the house. So they've been healthy so far, and thank the Lord for that, because I think it would really affect them. But, my husband's been able to work. I've done a few things, but my tour got canceled, and I grieved over that. I think I really went through because that was the biggest thing in my career. And I've done this 20 years, and I'm 55 years old. And I feel like I've had a wonderful career, but it really was booming. And it's still, I think it's fine, but I felt like God has given me this gift here at 55. My children are gone. I've raised my children. They don't need me like they did. I can go on tour. I got this huge deal for a 100-city tour from Outback Concerts in Nashville, which is a big deal, and I love them. And I was so, it's like winning the lottery. I'm not kidding. And I thought, so when that didn't happen, when we realized we couldn't do that, I went through a grieving period, I think, where I just couldn't believe it. And I was a little angry, and I thought, all this is happening, and then I can't go.
Yeah.
And I wanted to believe, I knew there was a COVID. I knew that. I've never thought there's not a virus. I've always known there's a virus, but I thought, okay, it'll be okay. We're going to all get, it'll be gone in 2 months. We'll get, and then as it dragged out, then I've really accepted it. And I'm trying to look at it as this is a time that God gave me to take care of my little mom and daddy. Mm-hmm. I've got my first grandbaby who was born this week. He was born December I know we're recording this, but he was born, and he's a week old. And are you nuts? I'm nuts. And I didn't realize I have 3 beautiful, wonderful children. I should have had 10. And this is a whole different thing. And people would tell me, oh, you won't believe the love. And it's different. And it is. And I didn't get to see him last night. And my heart ached this morning. And so I'm going to get to see him tomorrow. But so I've got my grandbaby and they may need me and I'll get to spend time with him before this tour starts again. And maybe, I don't know. I guess none of us know. But I did. I was mad. And I was sad, and I thought, okay, I finally get this big thing, and then I can't do it. No, this is not happening. I was kind of in denial, but now I'm okay, and I'm just so thankful that my husband's been able to work, my kids have been able to hold on to their jobs. You know, I mean, people are suffering so much that I realize I've got a lot to be thankful for.
Yeah,
because we're okay. You know, I'm okay. It'll be okay. That's not, you know.
Yeah, we're kind of in the same boat. I work from home anyway, and as far as work goes, my life at work has not changed a ton. And my husband's a pastor, and man, our people have just been super faithful and have rolled with the punches and all of that. So, I mean, good grief, leading a church through a pandemic has been super challenging, but as far as just our lives being drastically altered, that has not been the case for us. So I'm super grateful too. So that's been awesome. But you know, I was reading a couple of these articles that people have put out about like all the nutso things that have happened this year. And I thought it was funny. One of them started by talking about the Super Bowl, which, you know, it's like in January, right? Which is before all this got so nuts. And do you remember that halftime show that J-Lo and Shakira did like in January before all of this? Can you believe that we lived in a world where that happened?
No, that doesn't even seem real now.
You know what I mean?
And, you know, I need to watch that. I need to Google that because I remember everybody was so mad.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it that night and just thinking, she's remarkable. I mean, I think what fascinated me with her, I've always loved my J-Lo, but I like, you know, she's got a big fanny and I got a big fanny and I'm 55 and we were made to feel ashamed of big fannies. In the 80s, it was not in style to have a big butt. Yeah. And I was ashamed of mine. And so she was the first one. Oh my gosh, it's okay to have a big butt. Anyway, I've always loved her. And I've loved her music, and I think she's beautiful and all that. And when she married Mark Anthony, that little bug-eyed thing, I thought she broke up their marriage, and he was married to Miss Universe. And I thought, oh no. But anyway, so when I tweeted about it on the Super Bowl, and I said some remarks, and it was funny because people were like, "Oh my gosh, J-Lo was beautiful," and then other people fought and mad and said the world's coming to an end, and she ought to be way up to, you know, I didn't even look at it like that. I didn't even look at it as something sexual that little children had to witness, like Janet Jackson when her top came off that time with Justin Timberlake. I just thought, oh my gosh, she's in perimenopause. I mean, she's probably skipping periods, and she can hold herself up with her inner thighs. Shakira couldn't do it. Shakira couldn't do it. I don't think she did, and I love Shakira. But, I mean, I don't know. It did not offend me like it did people. And I can get offended. Let me tell you, I'm a mother, and I can get torn up over something that I don't want my little children to see. But I don't know. I guess I was just fascinated by the whole thing. And I cannot believe that was a year ago. I thought it was 20. It feels like 20 years ago.
Right? Does it not? I know. Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. I was really impressed by her, too. And isn't she, I know she's turned 50. Do we know how? I'm Googling it. I'm Googling it right now.
50 or 51. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. We're going to find out.
It's wonderful to know that 50 is really the new 30. Because when I was growing up, if a woman was 50, she had on a house dress and, you know, had arthritis and sat on the couch and watched, you know, Days of Our Lives. It's not like that anymore.
Probably because they're going vegan.
Probably. Well, they should. I don't know. I don't think a lot of us should. But I heard this today on the radio that most people now, well, when they retire, can live to be in their 90s.
Wow.
And, you know, crazy. I mean, we're all going to live longer. And, you know, if you can look that good and feel that good, I think that's a good thing. I went to Trader Joe's last night and bought 5 boxes of ginger iced cookies. And my daughter said, "What in the world?" And I go, "It's not all for me." I mean, even though I can sit and eat every one of them, I'm on a cookie thing, but I wanted to get it as gifts. But yes, we all need to watch what we're eating. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we were that healthy? But
yeah, that was something. So then we had a global pandemic and we all started watching Netflix, right? It was going out of style. And so I need to know, did you watch Tiger King?
Oh my gosh, I did, Rebecca, and I loved it.
I
loved every minute of it.
You did?
I loved it. My husband said this. I said, you got to watch it. And he goes, I cannot stomach this. And I think that either you liked it or you didn't. It's not that I was just fascinated by the fact that many tiger zoos on the side of the road in the United States, and that people will go and pay to waller a tiger cub.
Yeah.
Hundreds of dollars, if not thousands. And I just could not believe Joe Exotic. I wondered the whole time I was watching it, I thought, is he going to change the way we watch television? Because when I had my first deal with ABC and Warner Brothers several years ago for my own sitcom, the writer's strike hit. And Paula Deen was going to play my mother. And it was, I think it was going to go. And then all of a sudden they go, the writer's strike is hit. And everything just shut down. And so that was over in a day. And so reality television was born out of that because the writers wouldn't write. They kind of shot themselves in their own foot. They said, we're not going to write scripts and da-da-da. And so in Hollywood, they went, oh, okay. So they got Kim Kardashian and people to just, be in their house, and they shot them, and it was very inexpensive, and you didn't have to have writers, and you didn't have to have all this stuff, production. Reality television became a big deal. And then when I saw, and that's become so fake, everybody like Chris Lee knows best. He's throwing phones in a pond, and, he has to be over the top for people to watch it, or somebody has to be 1,000 pounds and you got to cut them out of the house. Like, it's not normal everyday people. And I know that, Rebecca, because I've had a couple of deals with TLC, and they would always say, y'all are too boring and y'all are too normal. And so anyway, when I saw Joe Exotic, I thought, oh my gosh, like, that is who he is. That is who he is.
Yeah.
And if that's who he is, all these other people on reality TV mean nothing. He was so much more fascinating to me. And running a zoo with a bunch of huge tigers and feeding them from expired meat from Walmart. I just never, and the guys that were in the zoo running it and how they lived, I just thought it was fascinating. But my husband, and I thought Carol Baskin was evil the minute I saw her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's a nut, and then was on ABC's Dancing with the Stars, which, what does that tell you about our society?
I didn't know she was on there. I need to go back and look at her stuff.
And she's a murderer, and the law's after her, I think. I think they're trying to pin that on her. She killed her first husband and put him in a meat grinder. Anyway, she was on Dancing with the Stars. That's who they chose. So I thought then, oh no, Jesus is coming back, which is, if he does, that's okay. I'm tired. I'll be, in glory. But I just thought that's where we are, where they would have Carol Baskin on Dancing with the Stars. But yes, I was fascinated. And I tell you what else I've watched. I really have not watched a lot of TV since the beginning of the pandemic, because there wasn't anything. But I've watched The Queen's Gambit, and I thought that was wonderful.
Okay.
And I've got back on The Crown.
I feel like I would enjoy it.
You would.
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah. I tell you what, my husband and I have gotten into is the Great British Bake Off.
And I've not watched that, and people love it.
It is delightful. So my husband loves to bake, loves to cook, which is like such a gift to me. So thankful for that. And there's a judge on there that's like a master baker in England, and he's written all these cookbooks about how to bake bread. And my husband has always wanted to master bread baking. And so we started watching it at the beginning of quarantine, and I guess it was maybe around Valentine's Day. That would have been a little bit before we were quarantined. But anyway, I got him his first, like, Paul Hollywood is the guy's name, his first bread baking cookbook. And I'm going to be honest, that's why I'm getting off white flour. We've been eating all this bread for like 8 months, and it's unbelievable. But it all came from the Great British Bake Off. We were so inspired, and now he is an amazing bread baker, and I'm so grateful, but except for the fact that I've gained weight, but it's the best. We've really gotten into it. And there's like 9 seasons on Netflix. It's just like an abyss when you follow.
Well, I've got to watch that. And my son that just had the baby, he loves to bake, and I think he watches it.
Yeah, it's the best. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's another thing that happened in 2020. What is it with Star Wars coming back this year and the whole Baby Yoda thing?
Well, and I don't know. And I should have researched that for you. I don't know much about that because I wasn't a big Star Wars fan. I went
Me
to the
neither.
movies to see it. I remember when it came out and all that. And then my son was not a big fan of it. He's more of a Western historical fiction, historical nonfiction kind of kid. And so that's a beagle barking.
Yep.
I never got into Star Wars. And
Yeah.
so that's back and with a vengeance.
Well, okay, there's this whole new show that they've put out on Netflix. It's called The Mandalorian. And in it, they have this new little character. They call it the Child, but it looks like a baby Yoda, which is what everybody calls it. You know, so when you see all these little baby Yodas everywhere, that's where I guess it's coming from. The other day, so the other day I came home and my husband had an early Christmas gift on the counter for me. And I thought, oh, that's so sweet. And I'll wait till he gets home to open it. And so I did. And he knows that I love Beauty and the Beast. And so he had gotten me this sweet little ornament from Disney. And it was like the little case over the rose. And there was like a little light and like the rose lit up. It was super cute. And then he goes, have you looked at the tree today? And I said, no. And we go in there and he had gotten a baby Yoda ornament and it's like laying in its little cage that apparently it's in the show or whatever. It's hilarious. But it's just became this whole big thing this year, I guess, which I feel like there's just so many things we've had to talk about that have to do with TV because, I mean, what else the heck are we doing?
What else can you do? I know. And Rebecca, I want theaters to stay open because I love a theater experience. I know. So let's hope that they are able to pull it out, and keep going.
I hope so too. So one of the other things as I was doing my little research for this that I thought was really funny, I somehow missed this whole thing, but Megxit. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know it had a whole name for it.
I didn't know it had a name. When you said that, I did not know that, but that makes sense. And I love my Harry. I love Harry.
I know. So
when you watch The Crown, you'll get more and more attached.
Yes. Okay. So for the people that may not know what we're talking about, this is the withdrawal of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex from royal duties, which happened in January. So this was like right before the pandemic, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Made him move from his homeland and his people and his royalty. And he lives in LA now. And I don't know. There's something about that is, I just think it's horrible.
Yeah. It's kind of.
And I'm not way into them. And my little mama loved Princess Diana and I love Princess Diana, but I'm not one of these people that collects things and has little things sitting on my. But I love Harry and William, and I just thought, what in the world? There's something about Meghan that just seems self-absorbed.
Yeah,
and she pulled Harry. Harry doesn't need to live in LA. Nobody needs to live in LA. I mean, I love Southern California, but I mean, of all places to take that, he's been in their Air Force or whatever their Army Air Force is. He can fly jets. He rides horses. He hunts. I mean, they have a castle in Scotland. I just can't imagine that she has moved him, and he's probably eating at the Whataburger. I doubt it. I mean, I know but I mean, I'm just shocked that she pulled him away from his family. I feel like she's the Yoko Ono of the royal family. I really do. I just something about her. And I think she's beautiful. And I think that baby's yummy and beautiful.
Yes.
But I just think that was a lot to ask. She knew what she was getting into.
Sure she
did. And that there was going to be paparazzi. And so, I don't know. I think that's a big price for him to have to pay.
Yeah.
For all that.
Yeah. That's
and if she wanted to go live in a little house and where nobody could get to him, okay. But she's not. They've signed deals. She's on television. She wants to get back into acting.
I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah. They just signed something. I think they're going to have a podcast or
Okay.
Or they're signed with Spotify. They just signed a big deal. So she wants to be back in entertainment industry, I guess.
Okay. Man, how nuts. I mean, yeah, that's a whole lifestyle change. I mean, complete 360 for him and
his family for generations. I mean, it's the monarch. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I know. I wonder what William thinks. I bet William's scared to death of her. I don't know. It just seems sad to me. But, of course, Diana's gone. You've got to watch The Crown.
Got to. Yeah, I need to start.
You really have to, because when it starts,
it like walks through their whole story, right?
Right. And it starts out when the queen is a little girl and her daddy, who was the king. And I didn't understand the lineage. I didn't understand the whole royal family, but you get a lot of history and you get a lot of what was going on in politics and in the world, and and what her role is as a queen and what the prime minister does. But it's beautifully done. And it's, I love a period piece, and the clothing, the decoration, the interiors of the castle, all that is supposed to be spot on. It's unbelievable.
Well, that's delightful. Yeah.
Okay. You really need to. I didn't think I'd be interested in all that, but I loved it.
Yeah. I feel like I've leaned so heavy into like the reality shows that's why I've just not, like, I've just wanted to watch mindless stuff. And so maybe I do need to get into this. Yeah. I need to watch it. Okay, so the last thing on my list, and then I'll see if there's anything that I'm totally missing, was these murder hornets. Why can I not say the word right? How crazy was that?
And did they ever come, Rebecca?
I think so. I guess so. I hope so. I just keep seeing these things on social media of like murder hornets were found in California or whatever. So I just hope they don't make it down to the South where we are.
No, and honey, do. And this is showing my age, but I've sat and helped my little mom and daddy during this whole thing, and they're 77 and 81. So I've sat with them and watched Wheel of Fortune, and then they watch Jeopardy. And see, I don't watch any of that in my house. But anyway, we sat and watched that every day. And then they watch the evening news. And I normally just am not able to sit down and watch the news. And I have had a whole different outlook since I've been taking care of them, that they told us the murder hornets were coming, gonna kill all of us. That, I don't know. It's just hard to watch the news. I was telling people during this thing that during this pandemic, don't watch the news. I mean, I think it causes so much stress. And I think they need to have the murder hornets are coming, and I think they need a big headline like that, and to keep everybody engaged, because, media is so fragmented now with cable and, podcasts and radio and Sirius XM and all the things you can listen to, that they have to come up with something frightening. And I was frightened of the murder hornets. It did scare me. I thought, what in the world? Because remember when we went through the thing where, and now they don't even talk about it, what was it where they told us all the mosquitoes were going to give us Zika? What was that? Zika? What was that?
Zika
And if you went to Florida, you could get that, and then your baby would be born with problems.
Was it West Nile? Was it the West Nile virus?
Not West Nile, which is frightening. No, it was something else. If you got bitten by a mosquito that was carrying this, it was called, what was that? We just had it a few years ago. My son got married 4 years ago, and my little daddy would sit and go, I don't want them to have a baby yet. They're going to get bitten by a mosquito and get Zika. Well, it started with a Z, and it was a horrible thing. Honey, they've let go of that. They move on and then terrify us with all kinds of things. And I don't know. I've just gotten to where I'd rather watch British people bake.
Girl, me too.
I'd rather watch British people bake, because I think that they have to sell. They have to keep people watching, so they terrify us. And I don't mean to be cynical, but I think they do.
They do.
And little elderly people sit there and watch that and just hear that one scary thing. So I don't think the murder hornets are going to come and kill us. And if they did spot one, I think it was somewhere up in Washington State.
I think you're right. I knew it was like way, way over there somewhere. I think you are right. It wasn't.
Yeah, Pacific Northwest. Yes.
Yes. Oh, that's the word. Yes. Okay. So what am I missing? Is there anything else that you can think of that was just nuts that happened this year?
Oh my gosh. Every day was something just crazy, wasn't it? I don't know, but I can tell you that I don't have any pants that fit me. I do think that a lot of us are gonna have to get on some kind of fitness thing. I'm so proud of you for stopping eating, because I know that that's the best thing to do. Can I do it? No. Can I do it tonight? No. If I do that, I'm going to have to do that in January, and I'm going to have to get psyched up for that. And I'm going to have some days where I don't have to go take care of anybody, so that I can take to the bed, because you're going to take to the bed when you get to go through these withdrawals. Because, it's like drugs when you get off of white flour and sugar.
It is like drugs.
Are you able to get up on a bike, or do you feel too weak?
Well, okay, here's what happened. Like, the first 3 days were terrible. I had a headache for 2 days straight, and it was awful. But I had all the motivation in the world, right? And so I think my mindset at that point was, if I just do it like 80%, like, I'm not going to be weird at a Christmas party and be that gluten-free girl, right? Yeah. And so I'll just do everything I can that's within my control in my own house between now and the beginning of the year.
Perfect.
And then we'll go a little more serious come January when I get back from visiting my family. And so I really have done good for the last week and a half, but I tried some chocolate that a friend gave me as a Christmas gift. And I think that's what it was, because I think it was the sugar in it that's now given me, it's like the reverse effect when you haven't had it and then you do have it and you crash. You know what I mean? I think that's what's happening.
Oh, my darling. But I'm proud of you. And you are doing it right then. If you're doing it easy, like 80%, and then kick in January, that'll be the right thing to do. Because, everybody, so you'll come back to Knoxville.
Mm-hmm.
Go to high school in Knoxville?
So I grew up in the Tri-Cities. That's where I grew up, and then moved to Knoxville and went to UT. Yep. Lived there for about 10 years until I married my husband. So it's my favorite place in the world. It's the best.
It is a good place. It is a good place. It's a good place for children. Because I think it's a college town, we have everything we need, really.
It's so fun.
Yeah, but we don't have the traffic of Nashville. And I do think Chattanooga is stunning, but beautiful. But Knoxville's still just kind of nobody knows and nobody cares. And that's okay. We want it.
Yeah.
We don't have bad traffic. We've got the Smoky Mountains. Yeah, we've got a pretty good climate, really. We don't get any severe weather because we're down in a valley.
It's like just big enough to have all the fun stuff that you want and great restaurants, but not so big that, I can only handle Nashville in small doses. I love it, but after a couple days, I'm over it,
Yeah, and I love Nashville too. You're right. But, everybody, Lord, before COVID, everybody was on a bachelorette party. And my little mama was at Vanderbilt after getting sick, and I'd look out the window and there'd be a bunch of girls, and I'd think, nothing good's going to happen tonight. I mean, there's some bad sin going to happen tonight. But anyway, Nashville's nifty, but there it's booming. And I'm a small town kind of girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, we're in a really small town now. So it was a little bit of a culture shock going from Knoxville to small town Mississippi. But yeah, we're close enough to Jackson and New Orleans and, all those kind of fun places. That's where we go on date nights when we need to get out of the house. But yeah.
Well, you need to go see my good friend, Brandon.
Yeah.
St. Francisville. He has a bed and breakfast, and it is stunning. And I think it's very reasonable. And he was Paula Dean's assistant for years and has written books with her and is a designer and a landscape a horticulturist. And so, and such a hospitality, guru. Everything he touches is just stunning and beautiful food and beautiful cocktails and beautiful plants and beautiful interiors and all this. So he was in Savannah and then decided to buy this. It was a plantation, and it was the big house, which was 9,000 square feet. And then houses out from it, they redid all of it. And I can't even take St. Francisville Inn, and it's in St. Francisville, Louisiana. And it is to die for. So you got to look at, y'all could go for a couple of nights and everything. They have a wonderful menu and they have a pool and a lot of people get married there and that kind of thing, but it would be a nice getaway. It really would.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll have to check it out. That's so cool. Okay. Well, this has been so much fun. I love talking 2020 with you. And before we go, I want you to tell everybody, where can they connect with you and watch all of your hilarious content? You have been like the comedic relief of my home so many nights of 2020. You need to know that. So I want you to tell everybody where they can get in touch with you.
Well, thank you, my darling. They can look for my tour starting again in 2021, LeanneMorgan.com. And then I'm at Leanne Morgan Comedy on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. I don't tweet a lot because I think Twitter is mean. And I don't know. I don't like getting in all that. So I'll tweet pictures of my grandbabies and stuff. But that's about all I do. But I'm very active on Instagram and Facebook. And then I'm on SiriusXM every day. And that tour is going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, and if anybody in your audience has ever bought tickets, just hold on. If that date, the new date works for you, hold on to your ticket. It will count for then. If not, I think you can get a refund. I'm not for sure. You just have to go to your point of purchase. But the stupid COVID, I'm sick of it. It's going to be all right.
It is.
Going to be better. We're going to turn a corner. I really believe that.
We are. And I can't wait for you to get to do that big tour that you're looking forward to. That's going to be so fun. That's awesome.
Thank you, my darling. I need to get off the white flour and sugar so I feel good enough to do it.
Well, let's hold each other accountable. We'll do it. And you'll feel so much better. It's going to be great.
Okay, my darling.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on and for being my guest today.
Thank you, Rebecca, for having me. I've had a ball. You are very, very easy to talk to, you angel. You are delightful.